In my last YouTube video, I titled it, "I'm Paid a YouTube Coach." So in this video, I want to talk to you about what I learned from the coaches that I paid. I did three different things. I did one where it was like one-on-one coaching, and then I did another one where it was a group thing that went for 12 weeks and what I learned from that. And then I did another one that was one-on-one. It was more kind of like business coaching. So I want to tell you the things that I learned from those those experiences that I had there, but I also want to talk to you about some of the things that I've learned on my own and some of the advice that I have to give you from that, and also some of the stuff that I've learned online, just going on YouTube and searching for other advice that I've gotten on there. As a new creator, we kind of go through this journey. At least I did. But I think I saw it from a lot of other people too. This journey of trying to figure things out and trying to, I guess, being a copycat at first, really. I mean, for lack of a better word, but we all go through this process where we're trying to figure things out. And, YouTube's not something that is it doesn't come natural to anybody. Talking to a camera is not easy. You don't get any reaction from a camera. You don't get any, feedback of, it's not like talking to somebody face to face. So we all go through this journey where we're trying to learn. We're trying to figure out how we can get other people to watch and get views and get popular and monetize and all that. And so it's the lure of being able to make an income from doing something like making videos for people to watch. So there's a big demand for it as far as like being a creator and wanting to do that. So we all seek the knowledge and we seek, how are other people doing it? And so the first obvious thing is to search YouTube and ask for advice or hear. You kind of get sucked into that whole thing about hearing different advice from other people that have, had success on YouTube. And so it made me think, what are the rules? What does everybody else know that I don't? I wanted to know more than the information that I was just getting on YouTube. And a lot of the information that I was getting was conflicting information. One person would say one thing and another person would say another thing. And I don't even know how I found her, but there was a coach that I found that she was just starting out. And so I didn't even have to pay her. She was starting her coaching career, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. And so she in exchange for coaching me, instead of money, she needed referrals or, just a good review so that she could get started in her business. I know that she meant well, but what some of the stuff that she taught me was a lot of the stuff was stuff that I had already found on my own on YouTube. And a lot of the stuff that she taught me was kind of like hard rules about things that I'm not so sure that she knew, but she had been coached by somebody else too. She had a coach, but she was from another social media platform. So she didn't have very many YouTube subscribers, but the advice was free and she was helping me. She was going out of her way. She spent like 4 or 5 weeks with me, meeting and discussing my YouTube channel and things that I was doing. And some of the advice she was giving me was good. So it was it was helpful, but she also steered me away from some stuff that I started doing that it might have been going in a right direction, but I don't know. So a couple of things, like she told me not to add music, that it was distracting, and some of the things I tried to do creatively, just adding different shots and stuff. She said she didn't think that was a good idea. So I'm not so sure that the advice I was getting was that great at the time. So that was the first coaching experience that I had. But the second coaching experience that I did was actually really good, and I learned a lot from it. And it was the first time that I kind of saw, like, okay, so these people are using real data. This is real information. And it seemed all kind of data driven and backed. And I still have, I'm still a part of that membership. You get kind of a lifetime membership when you get in with them, and it's really a good program. So the guy who runs it, his name is Daryl Eves, and he's been with YouTube, I guess, using YouTube. He's been a creator for a really long time. He has like several gold play buttons, and he's helped a lot of people with their YouTube channels, including Mr. Beast and a lot of top, like, really successful YouTubers. I first picked up his book. It's called The YouTube Formula. I have it right here, YouTube Formula, and it's really the first time I ever saw YouTube. Like, okay, so there's data behind this, all the analytics and everything that you look at. He goes really deep into that type of stuff, and he's got ways that he does his content where he'll, put things into certain buckets, and he does a lot of research, and it's really research driven, which is why I liked it a lot. And like I said, I learned a lot from his program, but I really recommend this book. So if you've never read this book, it's on Amazon. Pick up a copy of it. When I did, I just kind of fell in love with what was in here and how it made sense. Everything made sense when you look at it. A lot of the stuff that's taught in here, it it helps you to understand what's true and what's fake from the gurus out there that talk to you about, this secret button that does this and all that stuff. It helps you a lot with determining what content out there is telling you the truth and what content out there is just kind of trying to trying to get views or trying to sell you something. And the third kind of coaching that I got was a guy that I had paid for to help me. He kind of gave me like an hour coaching period that I paid for online with him. He's doing a lot of stuff where he sells digital products, and he has a good following and on several different platforms and social platforms. And he sells a lot of digital products, and he has kind of like a business that he's been doing for a little while. And he's been doing YouTube for a long time, and he was able to help me to kind of focus and get some things straight that I had been um, thinking about, and the way that I approach my videos. And he kind of got me out of shooting in my office and doing just regular talking head videos. And he helped me to kind of see where I needed to focus at, and the audience that I need to talk to and all that. And and he kind of restructured how I thought about, you know, the way I position myself in my videos. So, I'm not a guru in YouTube, but I can document my journey. So he helped me out with that. I think the main takeaway that I've gotten from everything that I've done is knowing what's right and what's wrong as far as, the data and how YouTube works and all that. Now, I learned a lot of that from Daryl Eves' program. It's the implementation of that that's the difficult part. And I think everybody's different. So some people are better naturally at talking to the camera. Some people just have a more natural personality and are able to do it easier. Some of us, like me, have to work a lot harder at it. But the main takeaways that I would get from all of that, all the stuff that I learned, is really it just comes down to making good content. There's other things that you have to do. I mean, you have to get the title right, and you have to get the thumbnail and all that for people to initially click on in the beginning. But most of the content itself, it just has to be good. That's all YouTube wants. That's all the algorithm wants, and that's all people want, is just for the content to be good. And a lot of times, in order to make the content good, it's got to have a good storyline. So it's got to just be able to tell a story or have a story that something that people are going to want to watch. So that's the tricky part. So implementing that is really the hardest part of YouTube. So once you figure that out, and I'm still working on it, then you should be able to make content that people want to watch, and then, you know, the rest is history from there. So once that clicks, then that's where YouTube starts to change for people. So I hope that this video was helpful in some sort of way, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next time.